nap while I'm waiting to hear from him. See who needs help.
I was walking down the street on a sunny day. Hubba, 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 hubba. Had a feeling in my bones I was gonna have my way. Hubba, 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 hubba. How you doing, Max?
Okay.
You a happy
that must
boy?
be a relic of an earlier time.
Do you remember Bob and Tom?
Bob and Tom, I do.
Yeah, that was a Bob and Tom song.
Oh, okay, gotcha.
God, we are old.
Kind of sounds like something Frank Sinatra would sing.
Oh, Miles, what happened there, buddy? No, I mean, do you realize that if we had any viewers, that would probably be completely lost on them?
Oh yeah, that's like.
But in my mind, like Bob and Tom is like yesterday.
Yeah.
When did they go off the air?
What kind of reach did they have? Like,
I did. There was a time in the '90s where they were 80s and '90s. They were pretty damn relevant. I mean,
yeah. Okay.
They spoofed everything and got spoofed.
Yeah, I wonder. Okay, so they were bigger than, you know, the Northwestern Ohio. I'm assuming then.
Yeah. I remember. Oh yeah, no, they were a nationally syndicated program.
Oh, okay, gotcha.
I remember during the O.J. Simpson trial, like one of my vague memories of that time. They did an O.J. Simpson Christmas special, which is pretty hilarious.
What the fuck?
It was like Christmas carols, but they were remixed to be about O.J.'s trial.
That's how she's gonna finish
Oh my god!
I'm like trying to remember any of them. Yeah, oh no, it was, you know, Bob and Tom.
Yeah.
They were kind of the play the hits of their time, only successful.
Oh my god.
This should be our last episode of Miles Morales here.
All right. Yeah, I'd feel pretty shitty if we didn't finish at least one any summer game in the city.
Yeah, that's right. We kind of had this as our main theme, but didn't do a whole lot with it. But
well, me and you. I mean, you've been playing FF7. Yeah, we've gotten like one, maybe 2 episodes of Shenmue in since summer started.
You know,
a little crazy that it's. I mean, it certainly still feels like summer. It's definitely the most humid I think I can ever remember in my entire life. Honestly, It's just, I don't know how it is over there.
It is miserably hot out. And I know August can be pretty hot, but I mean, global warming is real. So,
yeah,
Max, this is the final episode. You get to pick our final suit.
Okay, let's see. What do we got? Okay, I kind of like the scarf.
There's the scarf. There's, Cat Spider-Man.
Oh, awesome. Okay.
Okay, we also got Mecha Spider-Man.
Okay.
Kinda
What's
cool.
the one all the way on the left on the third row?
Third row left, the end suit.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Okay.
We already did 2099. I think we did the animated one at some point.
I think so. Yeah, I remember it looking crazy. Well, yeah. What's one to the left?
Crimson Cowl.
Crimson Cowl. Okay.
There's also a tracksuit. This seems to be an internet favorite.
All right.
Your call.
I kind of like. Oh, I kind of like that one too.
This one.
That metallic suit I feel like is pretty nice looking. You know what? As much as I want to do the end suit, let's do that one.
The cat.
2 to the right and 1 to the not the cat. 2 to the right and 1 up.
There's this mecha one and this mecha one.
That mecha one.
Go full mecha. Let's go, baby.
Let's go.
It even glows.
That's what I wanted to see.
We're in the end game
awesome.
now. It seems to me like it would really hurt, though. Like if your hands and feet are basically on fire at all times.
Yeah, what the hell? That's not just life.
It kind of look. I mean, I know the effect they were going for, but it kind of looks like they just left the oven on. You know. How does he do that? You know, I understand that it's a video game and there is a need for increased mobility, but this I don't understand. Like, I'm one of those people that like. I would actually think the only way to improve the swinging mechanics in this game would be to like slow them down and make them a little bit more grounded in reality. Like I would like to actively think about like every single swing I take and then be rewarded for like achieving really good momentum.
Getting the momentum right, like you're trying to get maximum air jumping off a swing.
Right, like basically take like in the sequel to these games, they should like one up themselves. Like take the really solid foundation that they have with these two games, and then like up the ante. Like make it so that like, you know, in kind of the same way that you have the reticle here.
Yeah.
Like that's like always present, and it gives you an idea of what you're gonna swing off of, and so you have a like plan to use it at a certain angle to get momentum. Oh no!
Whoa.
Game
Okay,
over.
that was something that was supposed to happen. I was like, oh, that was a cheap shot.
No, that wasn't supposed to happen.
Sorry about this, nephew.
Uncle Aaron?
Oh.
But I trusted you for some reason.
So, I can't imagine, like, it's been tried before, but making a good Superman game. Like,
You know,
the traversal
think,
with that.
Yeah.
Can't let you go
I
like
think
I
enough
think-
time has passed that we could probably actually make that good.
I think so.
The only problem with Superman, as far as a video game goes, is the exact same problem that you have with him as a character in movies. Like, there's very few interesting, like, you know, hero things for him to do, other than like
Yeah.
showing up to fight the big bad at the
The
end.
crazy, yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
Like are the hired goons with guns that make up like 90% of your game ever gonna actually stop Superman?
You would have to weaken him somehow.
Yeah,
would
like
have to be
maybe
something
that would
like-
be the plot. Like, you know, there's a kryptonite layer over, you know, Metropolis or something, and like he
Yeah.
can't leave it or he'll die, because like he would have to pass through a wall of kryptonite or something. So while
Yeah.
he's in there, like he still retains most of his powers, but they're weakened, or I don't
Yeah.
know, some shit.
Which would be a shame because then, like, taking advantage of the PS5, you know, when it could load so much at once, you know, that could really lend to his flying, where you could just fly over so much so quickly, and it could load it pretty quickly.
Yeah.
But it's also like, what would be the point of that? As cool as it would be, it would just be like a glorified tech demo. And then it's
Yeah.
also like, what kind of side quests are you going to give Superman? Like,
This is probably my favorite boss fight in the game, just so you know.
oh yeah,
It starts off just like this, but then as it goes on, like he keeps upping the ante with like the gear and gadgets he uses.
yeah.
It's a quick fight. It'll be over in probably about 5 minutes, if that. But while it goes on, it is fun. I would kind of like. There's not many games that I give like playthroughs in hard mode just because I'm a casual noob. But I would actually like to see this one with like pure Twitch reflexes.
I do like FF7 remake. As much as the Kingdom Hearts type fight really sucks, the Sephiroth fight afterwards, you can get pretty good at it and counter most of what he's doing.
Yeah,
And it's a lot of fun.
right.
And then of course like the ones where you're fighting those, you know, red, yellow, green shit is like, I just feel like you're gonna get bodied most of the time. Like,
yeah.
I always feel really bad at that game when I'm fighting those things. It's like, am I just supposed to be dying a lot? Like,
You know it.
oh, that's cool. Did you beat Taskmaster in the original Spider-Man game?
The original Spider-Man game. Yes. Sorry, the PS4 one. I was thinking like all the way back to like the 90s.
Oh, like PS2 or
on
something?
the PS1 or something. Yeah.
Oh, PS1. I
guess that's
remember a
not even the
Spider-Man game for
original.
the PS1, which was actually kind of funny thinking about it. Like, it was kind of cool, but the swinging I remember was so slow. Like,
Oh, that's embarrassing. Probably the one eating shit. Yeah, like I said, it's a cool boss fight, but I'm too good.
you just-
I'm One Punch Man. I got too
I
strong.
know I messed up.
After you
Speaking
kick
of,
him, he didn't land a single hit on me. I know I messed up.
wow.
Family?
I see that now. I can see that.
Fighting me? Being family isn't enough anymore.
He's like urinating blood. I understand that I fucked up.
Me? Hating each
I
other?
guess you have a point.
That's how
Oh
it happened
god.
Between me and your dad. I don't want to repeat that.
Do you have any interest in Elden
But I
Ring?
can't be the person you want.
When I know what do you call it,
Elden
games are kind of not your thing when it comes to like the Bloodborne, Demon Souls, things like that.
Elden Ring. Help me out here. What's Elden Ring?
So it's like one of the most anticipated releases like the past couple years. And
Is that the
they just
one that everyone thought was a tech demo for FF16?
No, it's
What?
oh shit, who the fuck's making it? I don't remember, but this year when they did
I'm sorry.
what the hell? It was around E3 and Jeff Keighley was hosting it. It was
I'm headed to the science center. Call me if
man, I
things get
can't remember
bad
Summer
tomorrow.
Games something, but it was like kind of the highlight of the show is they revealed Elden Ring as like oh
Yeah, I think we're good.
I think so.
We're gonna be
Um,
just
Post
fine.
renovation and the underground moves right in. Ben's got to be inside.
All right, so go on.
It's basically like a Dark Souls, Demon Souls kind of game. But it's been talked about for years, and it's kind of been one of those mythical games like Duke Nukem Forever. Like, okay, is this shit actually gonna come out?
No, really.
And there was a lot of rumors that they were gonna have like a proper reveal trailer this year, and they did, like in June. It was probably like the biggest reveal of like the E3 kind of time frame.
Uh-huh.
So yeah, and I'm sure if you look at it, you'll be like, oh yeah, this game. Like I'm thinking you'll remember seeing at least part of it. But it's the one. Okay, it's the one. The script is like at least partially written by George R. R. Martin.
Uh-huh.
And who the fuck makes it? Who makes the Demon Soul, like the Dark Souls games?
Not From. Is it From? It's not From. From
I think
Soft-
it is From.
it
From
From?
definitely made Demon Souls.
Okay.
Yeah, I think it is still From.
I'm supposed to stealth this part, but
Oh yeah, it doesn't really matter.
I'm
does
too
it?
strong.
It wasn't Roxxon. Yeah, I remember the original game when the frickin' oh maybe it was Roxxon. Yeah, when they came around, it was a little nuts.
No, Roxanne is in this one. Who was it? Was Sable.
Sable. Okay, gotcha. That was the one that was that lady with the silver hair. She like
Yes.
controlled them or something. Yeah, they were a little.
There's a
nuts.
sniper. Still, I left one of the snipers. That is my issue,
Why am I dying?
right? It's like, why am I actually having pain? Miles, no pain?
Good thing it doesn't have stopping power, since it's a video game.
Come here, you.
I get you where it is. I do like the maximum mobility, and yeah, it's like grounded in reality to the point where it's not like it's believable if you don't think about it too much. But yeah, I get you that it's like, okay, how is he just running at like forgetting the laws of physics here?
Right, yeah. And again, like I said, it's a comic book game, so clearly we are not getting like a completely realistic physics engine, nor should we. But I'm just saying it would make it that much more engaging to me, like if there were some way that they could really. Good job, Miles. Why is he doing this? Oh, wait. Am I? Oh, he has to first interact with the gate before he can do that.
Same kind of
Yep,
barrier
there we
they
go.
had at Gym Theater. Need to drain the generators. Those shacks. Which were locked and powered down. Need a new power source. Yeah, this.
Why? Oh, it is that one. Okay.
Webs won't reach.
Well, then... I guess I was right the first time. Yeah, that's what I thought. Okay. Okay, so now it'll let me do it.
So is Connor at all interested as far as like the new Pokemon stuff coming out?
I'm not sure. He's largely started playing Roblox, which
Okay.
is just hot garbage. I'm sorry.
But the kids fucking love
They
it.
do,
Like,
but the problem is, like, he's 6, and there's, like, basically free chat
Teenagers.
with total strangers on it. So,
yeah.
like, some parenting signals there being set off.
Yeah. I can imagine. It's kind of weird that, I mean, Roblox is the new thing, but it's weird that Minecraft is also just making this big comeback too, which is
Yeah, that's right.
kind of funny because the game is so old, and like after all these games, like you see Animal Crossing had its heyday, you know, basically ruled most of 2020. And you have things like
I'd rather him do
what the-
Animal Crossing. Maybe I should try to get him into that if he really enjoys Roblox.
okay, or something like
It's
Stardew
still like
Valley.
a world builder kind of thing. But I think the appeal of Roblox is that it's like a billion crappy little games in one. I'm
He might
serious.
like
Like if he gets
Minecraft.
bored of something, he can just straight. He doesn't really do any creation. He just
Okay,
cycles through different, like samplings of games and stuff like that.
okay.
But apparently you can also create some like really intriguing stuff on Roblox too, which is probably of course like NC-17 style content or something. But yeah. So basically, like, he has to watch, if he's doing Roblox, he has to be supervised, which isn't my favorite thing to do, but I mean, if it's an online experience, there's no way I'm just going to let him
There's-
chat with strangers.
Yeah, no, I get that. So, and that's on the
Nope.
computer then.
Correct. Or actually, it's on his tablet.
Oh, okay.
He has an iPad.
One of those games where it's on everything.
Mm-hmm. I think most kids his age do it on tablet. Like I played the
Yeah.
I played the PC version of it with him, and it's kind of shitty because like I think they mean you to control it with the keyboard and mouse, which he really doesn't get. So,
Yeah.
but when you plug a controller in, like, you still have to do some things with the mouse. So
Okay.
it's basically designed for tablets.
Works best with a touchscreen.
Mm-hmm.
Down that hall.
Okay. Yeah, it's kind of interesting that you have like Fortnite and games like that. Like, you have people who are obviously extremely good at it, but the majority of people who are like younger who are playing it like on mobile or
Yeah,
a
right.
tablet, and it's like that's kind of interesting.
Yep. But yeah, like I mean, I've gamed a few games in my day, but I just can't see the appeal. And it's probably because I'm completely not the target audience for it, but
Yeah.
like I just don't get it. It's like it almost seems like a tech demo from 1996 about like the possibilities of 3D gaming. So
Yeah.
there's a lot that you can
It's-
do right here. You can interact with all these different exhibits and see like Oscorp tech and references to future bad guys and stuff like
Oh,
that.
okay.
But we're just gonna go straight to the end because we could like easily waste an hour and a half at this part.
Yeah.
There's the elevator.
We've got time to look around first.
No, we don't. We gotta go. But yeah, like I've tried to like meet
Insomniac's
him
like,
halfway.
please
with-
look at everything. It's like, I don't care
Oh,
how long this took you guys.
what do I look like, a scientist?
You
Nerds.
do. And we're
Nerds.
Can't let you go upstairs.
But yeah, like I've tried to meet him halfway on Roblox, and like I just can't. I don't get what the appeal is. Like
Yeah.
he has like freaking Super Mario Odyssey, one of the best, if not the best, 3D platformer ever made, at his fingertips at all times on the Switch. He wants to play fucking Roblox, where you have to jump, jump on the colored scale, jump on the colored tiles with crappy mobile controls. And like, but that's what the kids are into, I guess.
It's like there's that, and it kind of that gives me hope. Where it's like, hey, you know what? Older games, they're not just gonna be like, oh, these are dad's games from yesteryear. Like, hopefully, it'd still be impressive to them. Maybe not graphically, but it
Right.
also seems like that doesn't matter so much. I mean, there's a lot of games they play that are not graphically impressive at all.
Oh
like
yeah, no.
Minecraft, Roblox is not really a good-looking
Dude,
game.
have you seen like all of the memes on the internet right now about how terrible graphically the Pokemon Arceus game looks?
Oh no! I thought the trailer looked better than that first trailer was hot garbage for sure.
I mean, I'm not going to be super into it, so I guess I don't care one way or the other, but it surprises me that of all things, a Pokemon game is
Got it. Let's go.
getting flack for not being, like,
Sorry.
you know, graphically impressive.
LOL.
I mean, up until the Switch, Pokemon was literally like a handheld only experience.
Yeah. It's never been known for being a graphical. There's not a single game in the series that they've tried to do that, and I don't think they're doing anything different now.
Right.
And I feel like if anything, I was gonna say the art style is like simple enough where it looks fine,
Yeah.
and you can build a big world pretty quickly. I can imagine, which is what they needed to do anyway.
So some of the ones that I've seen though, and to be fair, this is accurate. They show it stacked up against Breath of the Wild, and even there, it's really I mean, it looks really flat and kind of PS2-esque. I can't imagine that it's a bigger open world than Breath of the Wild. So like, why not just use the Breath of the Wild engine?
That's true.
But I mean, I don't really care enough because I'm not going to be playing it or anything unless Connor really wants it, in which case I'll probably play it with him. But
Yeah.
I think people were really hoping it was going to be like the first taste of a real open world Pokemon experience. And,
I mean, I still think it's gonna be that, but I think people were just expecting.
but they were expecting like a really intrinsic world to get lost in then, and
Yeah,
instead
exactly.
but instead what they're doing is having 700 creatures that you can catch. So
It's
you
still
can't have
Pokemon.
both. Yeah, right. You can't have both.
Dad, it's not a big deal.
It's totally a big deal.
Okay, we'll get a picture.
I'm not going to regret this conversation when you
Bye.
die later, Dad. No way.
This is it. Our project.
I love how they just like brushed off the bitch lady who wouldn't let them in the exhibit.
Got the converter all hooked up?
Otherwise, what's the point? They'll need to feed
It's like,
biogas in, though.
I'm a
Maybe we have to
volunteer. You
trash
guys
can.
go ahead.
So what's going on here? I know
This
it's
is a flashback to when they were in like the 8th grade, and this was their science project, which they won first place in this thing and got like they got their project displayed next to all of the other Oscorp engineer ones, and now this is also the thing that she's going to use to blow up Roxanne Plaza.
No one told us we were in
Gotcha,
this special
okay.
exhibit.
It's the MacGuffin that
How'd you get
that
it?
you need to convince her not to use, because if she activates it, it's not just going to blow up Roxanne, it's going to blow up like half of Manhattan.
Gotcha.
And that's her brother, who's totally not dead now.
You helped us get it working.
I mean, wait, he is dead. He wasn't dead. There was a time when he was not dead.
Wheels.
I am not saying that.
And see.
Man, times were good. I better go kill my friend.
Right? He looks like he's about to.
Right?
It kind of just looks unfair with the suit.
Yeah, I know,
That's
right?
kinda
Like, wouldn't like if you saw him wearing that horse shit, wouldn't you just be like, all right, fine,
Yeah, I give.
I give.
Finn,
I'll find another way to extract revenge.
I'm done listening.
Exact revenge, not extract. Sweet, sweet revenge. So it's been like solid, what, 3-4 weeks since we've gamed?
I'd say it's been at least 3. It's probably been like a month. Yeah, seriously.
Yeah. I mean, last time we gamed, Iraq was or Afghanistan was still free.
We're
Oh.
oh my god. Yeah, it was. That has just been a hot mess. I'm sorry.
It is
It's-
like I cannot watch the news right now because it is so consistently depressing. Because if it's international news, then it's, women and children being co-opted as brides by the Taliban. And if it's domestic news, then it's Trump supporters have set us back an entire year in terms of COVID progress. So
Oh my god, yeah, that's true too. That's another thing.
between Delta and that, like, I've just been having a gin and tonic every night before bed and not reading the news.
Yeah. Just kind of just like the last 4 years, I feel like. Where the last time it kind of just paused on my end for a
Oh,
second.
did it?
We're back. But the last time we streamed, yeah, Delta was definitely a thing, but it was like, okay, what's gonna happen?
It was like,
Cases might be
okay, so
going
now
back up a
everyone
little
knows
bit.
they have to wear their masks, and it'll die back down in 2 weeks. Oh wait, no, it turns out if you wear a mask, then you hate freedom. Ugh. Oh my god.
Of course, it's like now it's at a time where like this thing is crazy virulent, but
Viral.
it's also like just looking at the state like Florida, Alabama, and Texas, like how their governors are totally. I'm not even gonna say mishandling this. It's just they're total
Oh,
like
Texas and
dipshits
Florida,
or like evil. Like
I kind of wish they
seriously.
would secede, just so that they would like peter out in 2 years and then just become, the district of Texas and Florida.
right. For me, it's like
Like that's what they
It's-
want. Let them have it.
they are like this is gonna become like apocalyptic, and I
It's
try
not
not to
good.
use that word because it's a very charged, exaggerated thing. Like, oh my god, it's gonna be these hospital systems are gonna
Yeah, but I
totally
mean, you're
fail,
a
but
nurse.
they
You know
are.
how many people are dying of this. I mean, I guess probably not as
It-
much in Chicago, where you guys have a comparably high vaccination rate.
No,
but-
it's like here, it's really not. A lot of people are getting sick, and there's definitely like hospitalizations are increasing. This is what I'm hearing, like from the doctors next door, because I'm working in behavioral health, and we're very much like, yeah, don't come in if you got to be test negative and all this first. But it's in the southern states, like it's not even like 2 weeks from now is when it's going to be like horrible. So I think we're at a point where, as much as people are saying, like, there's a lot of bluster of, oh yeah, I'm not going to wear a face diaper and get the poison jab. Like,
Yeah,
I think
it's-
most people who haven't gotten it are just kind of like misinformed,
Right.
and they were hesitant, and so you see the numbers going back up as far as people getting vaccinated again. So
Yeah.
it's like, okay, that's good, but
then
it's
I
not
mean,
enough.
It was crazy because there was even like a week or two there where Fox News was like, "Hey, everybody, please get your vaccines," because they started to figure out that a large part of their contingent of viewers were actively dying.
We're gonna die.
It's like, oh shit, if we keep on telling our viewers to actively kill themselves on the air, then who's going to pay our checks?
Yeah. Oh my god. It's been kind of funny and depressing at the same time seeing them implode. And Tucker Carlson's just been a real. I mean, he's always been a dipshit. But
He is actually, I think, one of the most poisonous, evil human beings on the face of the planet. And like, you
Right
can use
now,
the
yeah.
excuse, you can use the excuse that he's just playing a character, but that somehow makes it worse because if he doesn't
Yeah.
actually believe half of what he's saying, then literally he's willing to sell his soul for money. And can you think of
Yeah.
anything worse than that?
he's not stupid. Then he's just like greedy and evil.
Yeah. I
Yeah,
mean,
it's
no matter
definitely worse.
how you look at what he's doing, if he really believes that shit, then he's a horrifying, fanatical zealot.
Yeah.
Hang on, guys.
And if he doesn't believe it, then he's like the worst form of capitalism run amok you can imagine.
Yeah, which I think the latter is worse. Like, it's not like I want to necessarily forgive willful ignorance, especially, but sometimes it is just like, hey, people are being duped or they're just dumb or something,
Right.
which is probably the kindest thing you can say right now about people, because otherwise it's like, oh, you really
think,
are.
I
just
think
like-
it's surpassed that. Like with in my profession, I get a couple of people who are deeply entrenched in their beliefs. But the problem is, like, since the Trump era, like, so many of those beliefs have just become. It's not about religious zealotry anymore. It's this strange and disturbing hybrid of Christian sounding things and
Yeah.
then just like worshiping not the flag, because like the flag itself really has very little to do with what's going on here, but it's like this strange neoconservative brand of my freedoms kind of talk. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It doesn't
I-
really resemble the conservatism that you and I grew up hating in the mid-aughts.
Yeah, for like Bush conservatism, like around that time, it's this is you. This is like from the history books, This is where you're seeing. I was gonna say feudalism. This is where you're seeing. What is wrong with my brain?
I know. Well, it's hard to describe, but like I've had people come up to me and be like, you know,
Fascist. There we go.
yeah,
Like
I
actual
guess
fascism.
it's something like akin to that.
Fighting on the roof.
But it's so self-destructive. Like, at least, I hate to say this, but at least with fascism, you had like a clear like group that was benefiting from fascism. But that's
get
not
you.
really the case with this. They're like eating their own in order to make their points.
I mean, you do
strange.
have like the elite still benefiting, but it's kind of like they always are in our capitalist system.
right,
You
but
have
like
people who
white uneducated people traditionally vote Republican because it makes them feel powerful, and there's, you know, in turn benefits for white uneducated Republicans, right? There's no benefit. They're actively encouraging this group of people to die for them. It's,
yeah.
and
It's,
for what? But anyways, in my line of work, I've shared with you some of my frustrations at like kind of, you know, the neocon talk that I get
Yeah.
occasionally. But
For sure.
there's like a very small but vocal group of people who will kind of frequently approach me and just be like, you know, Pastor, I really don't think you ought to be encouraging people to wear masks. I mean, this is our liberty, and if we don't have our liberty, then what do we have? God gave us that liberty. And it's like, no, dude, that's the exact opposite of what's in the Bible. Though, if you, I don't know, it's
Yeah.
maddening to me because
and I-
they've mistaken Christianity for this like freedom patriot thing that it's not. And like, it's
Yeah.
not just me saying it's not because I'm a libtard, right? It's like, if you look at the scriptures, there's literally no basis for any of this horse shit.
Oh, that's a lot of
Like,
you know what
literally,
they do. Though,
like,
is-
the main thing that Christ said was, be ready to sacrifice yourself for the sake of your neighbor. And
Yeah.
and I have people with who've barely cracked open their Bibles telling me what the Bible is supposed to be saying. and why? Because I made a video saying, you know, I encourage you guys. I know it's frustrating to have to take a step back like this when we've been meeting in the sanctuary without masks, but for the sake of your neighbor, and especially for the elderly, the vulnerable, and the children of our congregation, please wear the mask again, just for a while.
Like,
it would be better
serious.
it would be better to do this now than take a much bigger step back later. And
Yeah.
you would have thought I said burn your flags. 'Cause
I mean,
that's-
seriously,
that's-
dude.
that's
You're
the
trying to make
reaction
an
I
appeal
get.
to their humanity,
Right.
like
That's-
children, elderly, like.
And like I said, it's only like 3 or 4 people, but they're like so persistent and so loud and like, you know, just
Yeah.
constant in their rhetoric that
The very
like,
worst of them. Oh, go ahead. Sorry.
well, but I mean, like I'm exhausted with these folks. Like I kind
I
of
get
dread
it.
like opening my emails because I'm like, okay, what is it now? You know?
I'm exhausted, and I don't work on the front lines whatsoever. You know, it's
more
like
than I
I feel like
do.
I'm just exhausted, like watching the news and just hearing about this shit and hearing like from doctors as far as people who are regretful, you know, and it's just like they're
Oh,
in the
those are
hospital
the most
and they're going to go on
heartbreaking
events.
stories, aren't they? Where
It
the,
is.
like the woman who was like, "Yeah, I'm an anti-vaxxer and I'm never getting it," and then, you know, a week later she's dying and asking her sister to get her kids vaccinated. I mean,
Yeah.
why couldn't you have just entertained that thought 2 weeks ago? You know, when your kids had a mother. Ugh.
I feel like I'm becoming like my compassion is running out, and I don't want that. I don't want to
dude,
be.
if you can't
know,
tell,
someone
I'm
who's-
super bitter. Like right now, like I'm kind of glad that our head guy is back from his sabbatical, because I think if I had one more week where they were approaching me directly instead of him, I
Yeah.
might have snapped at
Yeah.
somebody.
I get you.
Like there've been a couple conversations where I was just an inch away of saying, then don't wear the fucking thing and die, okay? I mean, like I'm
yeah.
joking with you, but like what I was thinking about saying to a certain individual that I can remember was not all that different. Now the Prowler's
Yeah.
a good guy. I fucked up. I see that now. Beat the conscience back into him. But yeah, so like that's just been kind of my experience with it. Like 99.9% of the people I interact with, they're like, I may not like the mask, but yeah, it's the right thing to do right now, so I'll do it.
Yeah.
And you don't hear from them, and it's
Yeah.
just fine. Like no one, if they're being honest with themselves, likes the mask. That's never
Yeah.
the point, right? But you do it because it helps you and it helps other people. So, that's pretty much standard by the book Christian theology, right? Do what is
Yeah.
good for your neighbor. And like, I don't feel like I need to have this like huge protracted
The reactor.
battle or debate with these people. And like I said, by these people, I mean literally just like this small minority that makes everybody else uncomfortable by refusing to wear it and sitting there glaring at me throughout the whole. It's ridiculous.
Yeah.
And the worst part was, like, I had to look at the language because there's technically nothing you can really say to make them
Too late.
to like force them to wear it, because the language for the mandate in Monroe County where I live was public places. In public gathering places, people are required to wear the mask. But technically, churches don't fall under public places. We're privately owned buildings.
Okay.
So, most people would hear that and be like, okay, so what they really mean is I need to be careful when going out and being social. And
Yeah.
what these people are reading is, oh no, there's our loophole. We don't have to do this.
Yep.
So, what the hell?
And of course they'll take advantage because it's all a sham anyway, like.
Right, yeah. Oh, yeah, because all it is a liberal ploy to... And the person that I was about to yell at, that was their take on this. You're really going to believe Biden and his, anti-Christian, anti-freedom... I forget what he said, but he basically described the whole of COVID-19 as a liberal money-making ploy to keep us in a perpetual state of fear so that they can rob us blind. And I was like, dude, I can't even argue that with you professionally because I'm a priest. It is not my job to influence your politics. But like, how can you eat that horse shit for breakfast,
It's I can't remember the comedian now, but he was saying something like, oh, the whole conspiracy, who is he being it was like him and Conan. And
Yeah.
Conan's like, what do you think of the vaccine conspiracy? It's like, okay, the one where they're like trying to control us or like kill all of us or something like that. And
Right.
it's just like, why would they if this is their ploy to do that, to like population control and thin the herd, why would they do it in a way where it's the sheeple, quote unquote, who are like gonna get killed but taking the vaccine? Like,
Right.
wouldn't they want to do the opposite? Like they're gonna leave all the people who are, very cynical about this, and he called them the Fonzies. Like,
Right.
they're gonna leave all the Fonzies alive. Like, who's gonna dig their ditches and stuff? Like, that doesn't seem like a very. And it's like, okay, yeah, that's true.
And if this
Like,
is
as
all
far
like
as conspiracies go.
right, and if the conspiracy is like they're gonna get your money somehow, who's getting rich off COVID right now? Like, businesses of all kinds are actively suffering and closing down. Like,
And it's like the
It's a
amount of people
money-making
who
scheme.
are getting rich off of it, they're so small. Like, what? They can't really, even if it's like a bunch of Congress, like, they can write the laws and stuff, but they can't control. Like, as far as a conspiracy, it was like, oh, so much of the world would have to be in on it,
yeah,
It's just not possible.
I know it's
And yeah, there is something to be said about people who are in Congress who have stocks in certain things, and they, being part of the committees, it's just insider trading. Like, they know what's going on, and so you have people like investing in pharmaceuticals and stuff before COVID really took off. And yeah, that is a problem,
right.
But to say it's like the vaccine is a conspiracy, like, that's when you have like literally scientists who are not benefiting from this at all, people who are truly in the know who've made this stuff possible. Like, it's just infuriating to be like, okay, all these idiots from high school are suddenly like epidemiologists now.
Oh, I know. Like the Google anti-vaxxer crowd is like suddenly, throwing around like medical terms like they know what they're talking about. It's I mean, that's got to be frustrating for you as someone who has, at least a functional understanding of how medicine works, which is way more than I have, but like And again, I don't know how many like anti-vaxxers or anti-maskers you know, but the way that they talk, you would think that they did have like medical degrees. But after like 2 minutes with them, what they're saying is like clearly so wrong that even I am aware of it.
Yeah, and I told you I work with one, and what it is like what he does with work and what he truly believes are like two separate things.
Okay.
Like as a nurse, he's pretty competent, you know.
Really?
And then it's just like his personal beliefs. It's just like he separates them.
How?
You know. And it's like he also and he works in
like the one doesn't
VA.
influence the other at all.
Yeah, it's like, well, think about people like frickin' oh, he died actually, I think, of COVID. What was his name? Not Clarence Thomas. Who am I thinking of?
Clarence Thomas.
Yes. I'm a little racist.
Clarence Thomas died of
No, but it was literally, who was the frickin' like
shit.
heart surgeon who was like, oh yeah, I'm gonna beat people. Slaves had the opportunity when they came on boats or something.
What?
Like my ancestors had the opportunity when they came on boats. Who the fuck was that? He was a presidential candidate in 2016.
The doctor.
Yeah.
Ben Carson.
Ben, thank you. I think Ben Carson's dead, isn't he? Ben
Is
Carson
he?
literally died.
Did he
I
die?
have to look that up. I feel like Ben Carson died of COVID.
Really? That would be incredible. I mean, horrible, but
Or, but
like,
well, I was
what
gonna say,
better
as far as-
point could you make than a doctor who sold his soul to Donald Trump and then died of COVID?
Okay. Also, how did she get this fucking powerful?
I don't know.
What is
They
going
had
on?
they had to make
this is
the
epic
final
as
battle
shit,
have some
but...
stakes. I know, it
But,
really is
damn.
epic. Like, I think this
Yeah.
is a more epic fight than the Doc Ock one.
Oh, definitely. I mean, that was emotional. I mean, this
Yeah.
is too. I mean, this is your childhood friend. But yeah, that was an emotional fight. But you were just like going down the side of a building, basically.
Right. And here you're like tearing apart a skyscraper from the inside, yeah.
Yeah.
But so the other one that I heard this week, and again, part of me when I say this, it's like I'm a terrible person and I deserve bad things to happen to me. But the other part is like he's fucked so many people that I don't really care.
Who's this?
The governor of Texas. Did you hear that he has COVID?
Oh, the guy. No, I didn't hear that. Wait,
Yeah.
wait. Yes, I did. Okay. Yeah.
And like, I
yeah,
don't
probably
hope
nothing
anybody
bad will happen.
dies, but I hope he suffers. You know? I mean, really, I
get
do.
you.
Like, I want him to like understand what a severe reality COVID-19 is, and then for him to have to remember that every time he shows up at a rally and
and what he's
encourages,
done.
you know, mothers and, you know, senior citizens and other people to not wear their masks. Like, I want him to have to.
And I want that
reconcile
too. But it's not because, yes, there is some of like the delicious Schadenfreude of just like ha ha ha, but it is also like for these idiots, it's not real until it happens to them, and that's something I've seen so often. Is just like, oh, I'm against the gays and the gay agenda, and then like your daughter's a lesbian, and it's like, oh well, okay, well,
Dick Cheney.
yeah. And it is so much like until it happens to them, it's not real.
Right.
You know,
and
they're
then there was-
invincible until proven otherwise.
And then, you know, as we're saying this, I read an article right before we started recording this episode. There's a guy who, I can't even think of his name, but he's a big figure at the Trump rallies, and his wife just died of COVID-19, and they've basically made it so that he can't reference her. Like his wife, who's been dead for 2 weeks, he's encouraging people not to wear masks, and they can't reference like in any speeches like their condolences for him, because then that is consenting to the fact that COVID is a reality.
And I can't understand because the biggest conspiracies is not that, oh, COVID isn't real, or that it's population control, or there's microchips in the. Although I have some people who will like believe multiple conspiracies that contradict each other, which is kind of funny.
Yeah, isn't that the best?
But the biggest thing I hear of misinformation of people, because I know other people who are not like, they're kind of like they're not vaccine anti-vaxxers necessarily, but they are very much like, oh, you know, I mean, the flu kills more people every year, right? It's like, no,
No,
it does not. Like,
Statistically,
but that's the
no.
kind of misinformation that I think most people are believing if
yeah, like
they are.
like 99.99999% of people only get like a cold from COVID. So why is it such a big deal?
And again, it's like with Delta and for the unvaccinated, it is so much worse than. I'm not talking about severity. It's just like how much it spreads.
Yeah,
A lot more people are gonna die.
I know,
From it, and
it's
not
so
like as an
preventable.
overall number because there are a lot of vaccinated people, but for the people who actually get it in those communities, people who are like part of the here's that graphic.
Yeah, except we're using the wrong costume.
People who are
So it's just minor damage.
people who are part of like the anti-vax community and these kind of communities, most of them are going to know someone who's gotten really sick, if not died
Right.
from it pretty soon here. Like,
I know, isn't that wild?
and that's sad, and at the same time I think that's what it's going to take, maybe. You know, it sucks.
And the whole thing with this is I hate to keep on like espousing my personal politics, but if you know who had not been president, then I swear to God, this would not be like the political minefield that it is.
That's true.
I mean, like, if Hillary had been president, she probably would have gotten blamed for COVID and may have even lost re-election. But at the same time, I think a hell of a lot more people would be vaccinated, and it wouldn't be like a Democrats versus Republicans sort of thing. It would just be like, make sure you take your medicine so that we can go out and stick it to those libs and how hard they mismanaged the COVID crisis, you know? And, we would have all rolled our eyes at that and been pissed off. And,
Yeah.
President Cruz would have fumbled the ball like he...
God. Please no.
Yeah, I know, right? And I was going to say, so things could be worse, but...
Yeah.
But, yeah, I think the only reason that people are so, like, hell-bent on their, denial is just because of that horrible douchebag that we elected. I mean,
This shouldn't have been a political thing.
No.
Or at the very least it would have been like the typical fringies
right.
who would have said something, but it's so
And everybody just
many
gets to roll
people.
their eyes at them,
Yeah. I mean, it's like a literal percentage of people that not to sneeze at that are making our progress with this as slow as possible and made Delta, a reality. Not like
Right.
it wouldn't have existed, but it being pretty much the only COVID virus in town in the US. I mean, you
Yep.
have countries who've pretty much gotten a handle on this.
Yeah.
When it comes to Delta, it's it's
So-
really unfortunate.
Yeah. Lesson learned, fucking wear your mask and don't be an asshole. Miles is a
Oh,
fucking
and I'm looking
beast, by the way.
as far as Ben Carson, at least on Wikipedia, it seems like he is not dead.
He's not dead, okay.
So yeah,
Ben Carson
Who?
lives.
Ben Carson lives. Okay, who the
gets
fuck
to-
am I thinking
He
of?
gets to be an asshole for another day.
I don't think it's not Michael Steele,
Did you see his face?
but there was someone who.
No, Carson had COVID. I remember that headline, but I was going to say I was definitely thinking he didn't die from it.
Who is he?
I'll figure out who it was I was thinking of because I remember being like, "What the fuck? That's crazy."
Yeah.
Like. Anyway, yeah, really unfortunate, sobering stuff.
It is. And like I didn't mean for it to take up like 90% of our episode, but it's
dude.
just been
No, it's
so constant for me this last month, and I'm so sick of hearing about it and seeing it just because it would be so fucking easy to nip in the bud. And we just don't do it.
Simon Krieger
Yeah.
is in prison.
Like
Yeah,
it
I mean, it
doesn't
could have
have to
been-
be this way.
Literally, even before vaccines, this never would have happened ever, and this is unrealistic to expect. If everyone stayed inside for like a month,
Right.
it wouldn't have been a thing ever. But
No.
that I knew is just like, and that's to be expected. That's not going to happen, and that's kind of okay. But it's where it's at now, and it's the thing is that we have the means, and it's free. It is relatively safe. I mean, there's. It's just really, really maddening. It
Right.
sucks.
it is a constant waking, if not a nightmare, then at the very least a seething migraine that will not stop for me.
Yeah.
And precisely because I hate to say it, because like 90% of the time I really truly enjoy my work, but like I said, these last couple of weeks I've just been dreading going in because of the people that make it so difficult to exercise basic care for others.
I get it. I'm sorry, man.
No, it's cool.
That is
I mean,
really tough.
it'll pass over, but at the same time, like, you know, some of the people that like I had some real respect for, like,
So cool.
and now it turns out like they're
Yeah, you do.
anti-maskers and anti-vax. It's just like, why? And what are you hearing from me that leads you to believe that I would be on board with what you're saying? Which I hope is nothing.
I mean,
but
thankfully, it does seem to be that far a small group of people, but it's still.
oh yeah, like I said, it's minuscule. Like it's in no way like the majority of the people that I interact with. But like I said, they're so
Mhm.
vocal and obnoxious that there's no escaping them.
Yeah.
Can't get away with it.
You know, as much as there's a lot of things as far as Napoleon that I did not like,
Yeah.
you know, but I think about going to church and I think about the lessons we learned, and
Yeah.
and there was a lot of solid stuff there, and I feel pretty proud. Like, I remember you hear the whole story about, you know, oh, God's gonna protect me, and it's like God sent the vaccine.
Yeah, right,
God
like-
has these epidemiologists. Like, that story was literally told. I remember a service being like someone trying to stay out of a flood from drowning, and
We
all
would.
these people tried to save him. I
Yeah.
remember that, and it's just like, yeah, that's totally true. Like,
Yeah. Well, and that's kind of the thing. Like, historically, like, when you look at, like, the biblical narrative, what is God doing? He's
this
not
is a
like...
cool, like, kind of ending. Like,
It
I just gotta say, like, it is very Marvel.
This is the last thing I'll say on it because I want to enjoy these credits because they're so well done. But
Yeah.
if you look at the biblical narrative, like, God doesn't, like, bark down thunder and lightning when things get tough. Like, generally he works through people and he works through means, right? So, like, if he sends Luke the physician to tell you about Jesus, why can't he send, you know, the physicians of today to give you the solution to fucking COVID?
Yeah, not so much Old Testament God as the, you know.
Yeah, there's a little
Not
more
really
thunder
how
and
it works
lightning in the
most
Old
of the time.
Testament, but still.
Yeah.
The point stands. Like, usually the way that he delivered the people from the thunder and lightning was generally other people,
Or
right?
another person, exactly.
Like,
Yeah.
listen to the guy who's telling you not to be an asshole and things are going to work out. Anyway, so yeah, this is really cool. I love the music here and like the way that they do the credits, because you're right, it absolutely is like the ending of a Marvel movie.
Yeah. Oh, speaking of which, I still gotta. We've seen one episode of Loki, and already I'm like, oh fuck, I'm into this.
Dude,
like,
that was so good. That is my favorite of the 3 big Marvel series that have been released this year.
yeah.
Loki
I can
was
understand.
phenomenal.
Like,
It
I
also-
feel like it's gonna be mine, but we'll see.
It also, by the end of the series, I won't spoil anything, but it has like the most far-reaching implications. Like it's
Oh, okay.
like the movies won't be able to ignore what happens at the ending of Loki.
Gotcha.
It's
That's cool,
basically-
and I can kind of understand
it's a
it
game
considering where he's at. You know,
Yeah.
like I have to think something big's gonna happen. But yeah, we'll hopefully pretty soon like finish that, because I know Addie's definitely. As far as the shows that it's like, ooh, let's watch this, let's watch this. That's one she's actually interested in.
Yeah.
Because I'm also trying to get her to like watch some anime and.
Dude, the other one that you might want to watch, it's animated, and so it kind of feels a little lower stakes, and it is because it's all like hypothetical. But you've heard about
Yeah.
What If?
Oh yes, I have, and I haven't seen it yet.
There's only 2 episodes, but both of them are like amazing. Like
Is it
the
like
first
2
one in
episodes
particular.
so far?
Yeah, only 2 episodes so
Okay.
far.
Okay, gotcha.
The first one is what if Peggy Carter instead of Steve Rogers became Captain America, and like they do kind of like a deep dive into that. Like they do kind of like a truncated version of the first Captain America movie, like if it were Peggy Carter instead,
That's cool.
and like how Steve still plays into that, and it is cool. Oh, this next part I love. Wait for this. They do a Chadwick Boseman, because he died
Oh,
right as
man.
this game got released. I thought that was a pretty cool tribute,
That is cool.
especially given
Yeah, that
like
was-
the themes of this game.
Yeah.
Like the
I still
first
think
black,
about that. I still forget sometimes that he's gone. It's just like, ah, fuck.
right, the first black Marvel main character, and and he had to die, unfortunately.
Yeah.
But like I love that Miles Morales is like now equal parts
Are we
Spider-Man.
getting Harry here?
Yeah. Oh yeah, here's Harry, and there's the Venom goop, by the way.
Yeah.
So I'm thinking Harry is definitely going to be, if not the Venom of the next game, then at least a Venom, or he's going to
Yeah.
create Venom somehow. Yeah, because this is Harry in the tank. And there's the lizard. I mean, he's not the lizard right now, but
I was about to say, like,
boy, they really toned him down. Kurt Connors, that's right. And there's Norman Osborn. So I'm thinking in the next game we might get like Goblin and Lizard and Venom all at once. That would be a pretty
oh man, yeah.
Get him out!
The whole, I mean, Sinister Six thing they did for the previous game was a definite surprise.
yeah.
But it was only like the last chapter of the game, really. I mean, yeah.
But it was cool
fought
because
Rhino.
it almost kind of felt like a Mega Man style boss rush at the end, where you
Yeah.
have to like go through it all again. But yeah,
Yeah, that's true.
we're gonna skip the boring part of the credits if that's all right with you. But yeah, so this was Miles Morales. It basically it's a phenomenal shorter game, but I can't help but feel like its main purpose is to like whet your appetite for like the first like actual PS5 exclusive Spider-Man
Yeah.
game that like takes full advantage of everything that the system can do.
You got the $70 version with both games, right?
Correct.
How much is on PS5? How much is just Miles Morales?
I want to say it's either 40 or 50.
I was about to say because it's not $60.
No, it's not
I
a
don't
full
think.
price game, even though it is a fuller, more fleshed out game than a lot of the $60 or $70 games you can buy.
Yeah, I was about to say like this. If this was a $70 game or like a $60 game, I know it's 70 is kind of like the new standard for some games now.
Unfortunately, yeah.
Yeah, but-
Next gen games are $70 on next gen consoles.
but they could totally do that. It follows a full arc, and you feel like the stakes are appropriate at
We're
the
finishing
end.
this up
for,
with
like,
Spider Cat, by the way.
this- okay, for like this is like a true
Look at it.
But after seeing what
Look at how
happened
fucking
already,
crazy
cute it
thing
is.
happening here.
Yeah.
get why she did it.
Yeah, you're right, though. But like I said, this game has, at the very least, I mean, assuming that you do a minimum of 2 playthroughs and that you at least do all of the side missions, you're still sitting on 30 to 40 hours of content overall.
Yeah, seriously.
Which
Like, there-
to me is easily a full game.
And people were, I think, understandably worried because Insomniac 1 was doing Rift Apart, and 2, like, how soon did this come out? Like, after the original Spider-Man, like, people were thinking, okay, this is so soon. Like, is this real? And then there was that whole controversy where they said something like, someone from Sony, it wasn't from Insomniac, someone from Sony said like, not a partial game, but they said something along those lines that gave the impression this was not going to be a full game,
Right.
and it's just not true.
No,
Like,
no,
this
it is
it's
absolutely
shorter.
a full game. I think
It's shorter, but it is a full
Yeah,
game.
it's shorter and it's the exact same city as in the last game, which is really where the like
Speaking of which, I'm not
cuts and
gonna
development
be
cost
constantly
end.
looking over your
Yeah.
shoulder.
Otherwise, it is absolutely like if this game had come out instead of the first Spider-Man game, then it would have easily run $70.
Yeah, and it would have won probably all the awards that Spider-Man did.
Right.
You know, it's definitely a full. Yeah, and the whole thing is that, like with the city, it is the same. It's like, okay, so that's kind of how they did it, I guess. That's a big part of it, but
Right.
it's a totally new game for sure.
Oh, absolutely.
I mean, I'm
like
hoping to
100%.
do the same thing with Breath of the Wild, so we don't have to wait till 2023 to get
Well,
it.
Actually,
Like,
I was gonna say though, if you saw the newest trailer for Breath of the Wild, it looks like that is they actually are doing like a whole new part of the map in the sky. So
Yeah.
that'll be interesting.
yeah. Speaking of which, I think I am gonna get Skyward Sword, the HD version, since I never actually.
Yeah, I'm
beat
probably
the
gonna eventually
original.
get that too. But I was joking and say I'm gonna wait for it to drop in price, which doesn't happen with
Which will
Nintendo
not
games.
happen. Yeah.
Right. So I guess it's gonna be more like when I have $60 burning a hole in my pocket.
inside a
But-
Is that who? Is that Peter Parker on the billboard you're standing on?
No, that's Captain D-Bag.
Oh, Simon. Okay.
Yeah. I would love that he got arrested at the end. That was funny.
They're deep fakes. I love that.
Deep figs. Anywho, this has been Miles Morales, and we've still got a solid month left of Summer in the City, so we can do Shenmue and maybe like one more shorter project. But I hope
Yeah,
you've
I
enjoyed
think-
this because it's a hell of a game.
It's great, you know, and I'm looking forward to playing it with Addie. You
I was
know,
gonna
she
say,
was like,
I
"Oh,
left-
you're gonna do it with Chris first." It's like
Yeah.
I'm barely even paying attention to it.
Right,
You
and
know,
I
I'm
left
just-
out enough of the meat of the game that you're going to have a full experience with her. I mean, like, you saw the story, but you know how it is with these open world games. Story is like, we didn't do any of the side stories, which in these games are actually as good as
Like,
the main
pretty
plot.
good.
So,
Yeah, and I wasn't even paying attention to the dialogue for the. I got like the big beats, and that's about it.
Right.
So
yeah, you
I
know
think-
that the
I
bad
think we'll
guy
be good.
loses at the end. Shocker. All right, Max. We will see you next time, and hopefully we can do another double header and get some other stuff going.
we'll get there. No worries. I'll
All
see you
right,
later,
buddy.
man.
Have a good one.
You too.
Get your shots.